Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. For months now, Eli Lilly and Company has been on the front lines of the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. And this week, a major breakthrough. A Lilly-developed antibody therapy granted emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration. Lilly researchers say when given early, the treatment may help patients clear the virus and reduce COVID-related hospitalizations. With more on what the FDA's decision means for patients and for the company, I'm pleased to be joined by Lilly Chief Financial Officer Josh Smiley. Josh, as always, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Gary. It's great to see you.
I said it's a breakthrough. It's really been a Herculean effort on the part of a lot of people there at Lilly. Typically, it takes years for a drug to come to market. Talk about what a compressed time frame this was to get this antibody treatment to market.
Yeah, just going back, we started working on this program at the end of February. We have a partner in Canada called Accelera, who had identified some samples of patients, first patients in the U.S. who had recovered from COVID. They came to us and we decided to work on a program together. So from the end of February to November, we took what typically takes somewhere between 5 and 10 years and got it into 8 months to get an emergency use authorization earlier this week.
Wow, that is truly amazing. So talk about the antibody therapy. This is given, I think, typically to people kind of early on in the virus kind of process, if you will. And some dosing has already been given to patients here in Indiana.
That's right. You know, as we started this program, we weren't sure exactly what patient population it would work in best, and we're studying a range of populations. But what we received the emergency use authorization for are for patients who are newly diagnosed, who would be at high risk for hospitalization. And our study would indicate that if those patients, these would be patients who are older, over 65, or obese, or have underlying conditions like diabetes, if they get the drug early in the course of their disease, there's in our study showed over a 70% reduction in their chance of being hospitalized. We got an approval Monday night, shipped drug on Tuesday, and the first 2 patients in the country received the drug at Clark Memorial Hospital in Jeffersonville this week.
Yeah. In terms of the production, that's being done, as I understand it, at a plant in New Jersey. Talk about how many doses the government has purchased so far, and ultimately how many more you think you'll be producing and sending in the months ahead.
That's right. As I mentioned, we've had to move fast. So right now we're working in one facility in Branchburg, New Jersey, which has the capacity to produce up to 1 million doses this year. Next year, we have 4 more facilities that will come online and will be able to produce a lot more. But for this year, the government, the U.S. government has contracted to purchase 300,000 units or doses. The first 88,000 we shipped on Tuesday. And again, the opportunity would be to provide up to 1 million doses this year to the U.S. government or other countries around the world if we have other emergency use authorizations. The government is also then has an option to purchase another 650,000 units or doses between now and the end of June. And again, we've got lots of capacity next year to be able to provide. This year, we're relatively limited in what we can do.
Yeah, so clearly production would continue even after a vaccine or vaccines are out of the market too. Production would continue.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we, like everyone else, are very anxious, and we're excited by the Pfizer data on the vaccine and the other data that will come. But I think certainly between now and summer of next year, there's going to be a need for antibody treatment, and then we've got a long rollout before the world is able to fully access the benefits of vaccines. So we see this certainly as an important bridge for the next probably 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, Josh, very early on in the disease, the virus, Dave Ricks, the Lilly CEO, was out front saying that Lilly wanted to really engage and be on the front lines in the fight against the pandemic. There was the drive-through testing there at the Lilly headquarters, and now obviously the antibody therapy that is out. This has been a very intentional effort, it seems to me, to really take a leadership role in the fight against COVID-19.
Yeah, it's what we do, right? Our mission as a company is to make lives better for people. COVID, of course, is a very unique and a pandemic. but we've really taken all of the resources we can and put them against every way we can help. Of course, the antibody, as you mentioned, Gary, testing. We continue to look at other therapeutics that can help. We actually have another emergency use authorization for a drug that helps when patients are already hospitalized. So we really have put the full weight of our scientific and financial resources behind this.
Major breakthrough at Eli Lilly and Company this week, an antibody treatment now, dosing being given to patients and with many more in the future. Josh Smiley, Lilly CFO. Josh, thanks for taking the time. We look forward to visiting again in the future.
Thank you, Gary. A pleasure.
All right.